How's it going, everybody? Daner here with North Central Coins, and welcome back to another episode of the most rare and valuable coins in Canada. Today we're going to be counting down the top 10 most valuable Canadian specimen dimes of all time. Now, if you guys have checked out any of my other videos on Canadian specimen coins, they are some of the most rare and valuable coins in the entire world. A lot of the Canadian specimen sets and coins produced before the year 1970 are extremely rare and have very limited mintages, with some only being produced in numbers of around 1,000 or 10,000 sets. When it comes to coin collecting and numismatics, these things definitely fly under the radar for their value, and chances are you probably aren't going to find one of these coins in your pocket change or coin roll hunting, but never say never. You never know if maybe some kid inherited their grandparents' priceless coin collection and then took it and cashed it in at the bank for face value, and some of these priceless coins could be floating around there in the wilds of circulation. Now, that is highly unlikely, but I have seen crazier things. Chances are, if you want to find these specimen coins, your best bet is going to be at a coin shop or maybe an online auction like Heritage Auctions or eBay, but you definitely want to make sure you do your research and due diligence. And in today's video, I'm going to break down the top 10 most valuable Canadian specimen dimes of all time. Before I do get into this, I would really appreciate if you guys would hit that thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, and also hit that bell notification so you can follow along with my new videos as they are being released. In the past, I have made several videos detailing the rare and valuable coins from many countries, some of which include Canada, the United States, Germany, New Zealand, Australia, Britain, and I'm going to be making plenty more in the future, so make sure to stay tuned for all of those. But what do you say we get into today's list and count down the top 10 Canadian specimen dimes? Let's get it, guys. So as I start this list off, rather than working my way from the least valuable to the most valuable, I'm going to work my way through the years, but number one is definitely going to be the most valuable dime on this list. Some of you guys, if you are well versed in Canadian coins, might have an idea what that is already. Now, most of the dimes featured on this list are going to be from the Queen Victoria era, and the most modern dime featured on this list is actually going to be from the King George V. When it comes to Canadian specimen dimes, it seems that there isn't too many throughout the King George VI and the early Queen Elizabeth era that are worth crazy amounts of money. There are still some that are pretty rare and valuable, but none of them that could actually make it onto this list. All of that being said, what do you say we start this list off with number 10, which is going to be the 1875 Queen Victoria 10-cent coin, and this is with an H mint mark indicating it was struck at the Heaton Mint in Birmingham, England. In terms of value, the 1875 H mint mark can be worth around $11,800 for an SP63 and all the way up to $39,200 for an SP65. So we are seeing a huge price jump from the SP63 to 65. If you were able to cherry pick one of these and it got a higher designation, we could easily be talking a $75,000 coin. Number 9 is going to be the 1885 Queen Victoria Canadian 10-cent specimen dime, and this is with the obverse 4 variety. There are a few different obverse varieties for the Queen Victoria. A lot of the time for the specimen coins, they will only have it in the one variety. So you're looking for the 1885 with obverse number 4, and this may be the only variety that it actually comes in. In terms of value, it can be worth around $9,800 for an SP63 and $24,500 for an SP65. So a very common trend that you will see in these early Canadian specimen coins is massive price jumps. Like when you see a coin that goes from $9,800 at an SP63 all the way up to $25,000 at an SP65. That is a huge price jump, so it tells you that finding high-grade examples is extremely difficult, but that doesn't mean that they aren't out there, maybe floating around in attics or maybe floating around in some old coin shop somewhere, and the guy doesn't know the coin's potential value. Number 8 is going to be the 1888 Queen Victoria Canadian 10-cent specimen coin. In terms of value, it can be worth around $6,900 for an SP63 and all the way up to $19,600 for an SP65 example. You don't need to identify any varieties or mint marks, just simply the 1888 Queen Victoria specimen dime. Number 7 is the 1890 Queen Victoria Specimen 10-cent coin, and this is with an H mint mark indicating it was struck at the Heaton Mint in Birmingham, England. In terms of value, the 1890 H mint mark can be worth around $7,800 for an SP63 example, and all the way up to $14,700 for an SP65. So the price jumps are getting a little less significant as we get into the more modern dates here. You will usually find that the farther back you go, the harder it is to find high grade examples of a coin. Number 6 is going to be the 1892, and this is with an obverse number 5 variety, and this is also with the large 9 and a 2/1. Now there are two varieties for the 1892. There is a large 9 and a small 9. For the specimen strikes, they only come with the obverse 5 varieties, so you don't need to identify any varieties for the Queen Victoria obverse, but you do need to look for the large 9, and the example you are looking at is the large 9 right now. And then you also need to look for the 2/1. Basically, to identify this, you want to look at the last digit on the date 1892, and you want to check if the last digit 2 looks like it was stamped over a 1. If you can identify the large 9 and the 2/1, it can be worth around $6,400 for an SP63 and all the way up to $17,600 for an SP65 example. Number 5 is going to be the more rare of the 1892s, and that is the 1892 obverse 5 small 9 variety. So you don't need to identify the obverse variety for the 1892 specimen dime, but you do need to identify the small 9 if you want to be able to get the premium for this coin, because the 1892 small 9 is the rare of the two varieties. Now, in terms of value, it can be worth around $7,400 for an SP63 and all the way up to $19,600 for an SP65. You don't need to identify the 2/1 variety for this, just simply the small 9 obverse 5 1892 Canadian specimen dime. Number 4 is the 1894 obverse 5 Queen Victoria specimen 10-cent coin. You don't need to identify any varieties for this, you just simply need to find the 1894, and it comes pretty much stock with the obverse 5 variety. It does not come with any other obverse varieties for 1894. In terms of value, it can be worth around $5,900 for an SP63 and all the way up to $17,600 for an SP65 example. Number 3 is going to be the first King Edward VII coin that we feature on this list, and there's actually going to be 2 King Edward VII coins, which is pretty rare for these top 10 lists. Usually there'll only be one in there, if that. But number 3 is going to be the 1902 with an H mint mark indicating it was struck at the Heaton Mint in Birmingham, England. In terms of value, the 1902 King Edward VII Canadian specimen dime can be worth around $3,920 for an SP63 example, and around $6,100 for an SP66. Now this isn't quite nearly as valuable as the last dimes that I mentioned on this list, but it is a slightly more recent date, so you might have a slightly higher chance of being able to acquire one of these sets. Number 2 on this list is going to be another King Edward VII Canadian specimen dime, and that is the 1903 with an H mint mark indicating it was struck at the Heaton Mint in Birmingham, England. Now in terms of value, it can be worth around $4,470 for an SP62 and all the way up to $14,700 for an SP65 example. In the past, I've got several comments from people asking why I have not included certain coins in my videos, and there's a pretty good reason why I am probably not including a coin in a video. One reason is I have so many lists at this point. There's just so many different coins to cover, from proof strikes to specimens to errors and varieties to just regular old business strikes, and depending on the strike of a coin, it may not actually be as valuable for a certain date as it was if it was a different strike. Like, let's say the 1948 Canadian silver specimen dollar isn't even worth about half as much as the 1948 business strike. Still very rare, still very valuable, and I definitely would include that one on my list. But sometimes I like to include coins that people actually have a higher chance of finding. So there are Queen Victoria Canadian specimen dimes that are more valuable than these King Edward VII Canadian specimen dimes, but I wanted to throw these in there, just to get a little bit of a mix up and a different demographic of dates, and also just because you might have a better chance of being able to find these more recent dimes depending on where you live in Canada. But all of that being said, I really hope you guys enjoy these videos and find them helpful. If you do, please smash that thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, and also hit that bell notification so you can follow along with my new videos as they are being released. I recently hit 25,000 subscribers. It is a huge milestone for my channel, and I honestly never dreamed that I would be able to get to this point. When I first started this out, it was just a little side project, a little hobby of mine, and what it has grown into has just blown my mind, and I am constantly mind-boggled at the support that I constantly receive from you guys. And truly, from the bottom of my heart, I would like to thank you all so much. And if you guys would like to show your support, all you have to do is just smash that thumbs up on my new videos. I've been promising for a long time that I'm going to be improving the quality of my content and bringing you guys big things, and I've slowly been incorporating that into my new videos, and I hope you guys appreciate that. And I've been trying very, very hard to bring you guys the best quality coin entertainment that there is on YouTube. But what do you say we get to number 1 on this list, which is going to be one of the most legendary Canadian coins of all time? I have actually included it in some other videos, including a recent video I made actually on these 1936 dot coins. And number 1 on this list is going to be the Canadian 1936 dot specimen coin. Now, this is going to be the only King George V specimen coin included on this list, and it is also the most valuable. Now, in terms of value, it can be worth around $144,500 for an SP63 example, and all the way up to $245,000 if it hits around the SP65 range. Now, this is one of the most rare and valuable Canadian coins of all time. There are only somewhere between 3 and 5 of these coins ever made, and they are basically holy grails as far as Canadian numismatics are concerned. So your chances of ever stumbling across one of these or even seeing or holding one of them is pretty much slim to nil. But what would you guys do if you think you found a legitimate example of the 1936 dot coin? Or if you guys own or have seen any of the coins on this list, let me know down in the comments. I would love to know. I would also like to announce that I partnered with Lighthouse Canada. They are the largest and most reputable coin supply company in North America. They have a website with a massive selection and inventory that can cover everything in your coin collecting needs. They have coin flips, they have microscopes, they make the absolute best Canadian coin albums on the market. They even have solution that can clean your coins without damaging them and reveal the older dates on your coins. So if you would like to shop this amazing selection of coin collecting gear, then just go to lighthousecanada.ca, and you can also enter the promo code DANE20 at checkout for 20% off of your order. I would also like to announce that I partnered with Charlton Press. They produce the absolute best Canadian coin catalogs with the most accurate and detailed information and values on Canadian coins that you can get right now. So if you guys would like to find out the values on your Canadian coins, including Canadian specimen dimes, then I highly suggest you go to charltonpress.com, and you can also enter the promo code DANE20 at checkout for 20% off of your order. So that is lighthousecanada.ca, charltonpress.com. You can enter the promo code DANE20 at checkout for 20% off of your order. I would like to thank you all so much for watching, but until the next one, everybody, peace out and have a good one.